Welcome, wrestling fans, to another night of action-packed AWA excitement. And you know it just wouldn't be an AWA show without starting it off with Brad Rheingans, right, Joe?
Absolutely, Vern. Brad's basically the official AWA alarm clock at this point.
Yeah, except instead of waking people up, he's got a knack for putting them to sleep with his wrestling wisdom.
Oh, Greg, is Brad talking to the wrong camera again?
Yep, classic Brad. We told him to use the other camera, but nope, and they can't even switch the feed. It's like he's trying to make eye contact with a ghost.
Meanwhile, the production crew is probably back there sweating bullets. They're thinking, forget wrestling, we're filming a new horror movie, The Phantom Interview.
Well, there you go, folks. Instead of selling tickets to tonight's match, we're apparently selling a new wrestling hairstyle. The back of Brad's head look.
Maybe he's just saving his good side for later.
I'd pay to see that, but Brad does have to answer the real question tonight. Is he even at 100%?
Yeah, Vern, ask the man. He looked like he was limping on his way in earlier.
100% sure it is. I mean, he might have a little something here or there, a limb maybe, but who's counting?
And what about your knee, Brad? Is it really good to go?
Sure it is. It just needs a little ice, a little rest, and maybe a pep talk from my mom. Well, there you have it, folks. Brad Rheingans, always a pro, even when he's not quite sure which camera is his friend.
And with that, let's get this show rolling. Stick around. This is going to be a night to remember. Well, folks, coming down to the ring is Sheikh Adnan LKC, and yes, he's got that sword with him again.
Yeah, the sword he never actually uses to stab anyone, but instead prefers to attack with the handle, because, of course, it's pro wrestling.
You've got to love how he swings that thing around like he's auditioning for a role in Pirates of the Caribbean. He's more Captain Handle than Captain Hook.
And really, why would he stab anyone? He's just here to bonk people with the handle. Vern, it's not a medieval jousting tournament, it's pro wrestling.
Unless you count the way he's jousting for attention, which honestly, he's pretty good at.
Man, these are the down times for the AWA. They're trying to go full cartoon, but, well, it's not quite landing, is it?
And true, the WWF does the whole cartoon thing, but they make it look like a superhero comic book come to life. This question mark, this feels more like the knockoff superhero movie you'd find in a dollar store DVD bin.
While WWF's got superheroes soaring through the skies, AWA's characters look like they just flew in from the clearance rack at a thrift shop.
Our main villain out here looks more like a washed-up cartoon character who couldn't even land a gig in a knockoff cereal commercial.
And here he comes, hailing from Siberia at 270 pounds, Boris Zhukov. And would you look at that? He's rocking a man bun tonight.
Well, I guess if you're gonna throw down in the ring, you might as well do it with style. Who else can say they're ready to wrestle and hit a brunch at the same time?
Man bun or not, Zhukov looks fired up tonight, but he's about to face one of AWA's finest.
And here he is, the Appleton, Minnesota native, Brad Rheingans.
Brad's out here flying the red, white, and blue, but wait a minute, are those French flags on his trunks?
Oui, oui.
I guess Brad isn't just here to wrestle, he's also here to negotiate a peace treaty with the judges.
It's the only time you'll see a wrestler get a pop for representing two countries, one for the gold and one for a little ooh-la-la.
Well, folks, it's red, white, and blue versus the red flag of Boris Zhukov. Grab your popcorn, it's about to get interesting.
All right, folks, calling the ring action tonight is Ron Trongard, and if you look closely, you'll notice something a little off. He's got his table, his monitor, and, well, he's facing the audience instead of the ring.
At this point, I think he's just hosting a live podcast called People Who Should Be Watching Wrestling instead of staring at their phones.
Who needs to see the action in the ring when you can see someone drop their nachos in the third row? And there it is, folks. Brad takes the Siberian flag, wipes his, with it, and throws it right back at Zhukov.
Ah, yes, the 1980s, when political tensions could be turned into toilet humor.
Yeah, nothing says Cold War quite like creative sanitation. Brad's basically saying, this flag just isn't worth the toilet paper it's printed on.
Meanwhile, listen to Ron Trongard over there. He's got his thesaurus out again. Boris Zhukov is brutal, plotting, powerful, devastating.
Yeah, at this point, I'm half expecting Ron to start comparing Boris to the weather. Today's forecast, 100% chance of destruction. with a high of malevolence.
I mean, it's like he's reading straight out of the over-the-top announcer's handbook. Classic Ron.
Back to the action now as Brad drives those Brock Lesnar-like shoulders right into Zhukov's gut. Out of the corner, a drop kick, and now it's time for the signature Brad Rheingans arm drag here at WrestleRock 86.
Oh, Ron's not done yet, though. Listen to him. He's calling Brad American personified. You know what that means.
Yeah, apparently it means he's white, poor, selfish, and let's just say problematic.
Say what you want, though. Brad's got the crowd behind him. They're eating him up like it's 4th of July barbecue.
Here comes Sheikh Adnan making his grand entrance. Let's not forget, folks, he's got bullets strapped to him tonight because, you know, why bother with the sword if you can just shoot someone instead?
Yeah, right, Vern. Who needs finesse when you can just show up packing heat? Just don't challenge him to a duel. He might call in the cavalry.
I mean, if you're going to overcompensate, you might as well go all the way.
Every time he raised that strap up, he had my complete attention.
Brad Rheingans goes for the hammerlock, and now, wait, what's he doing? Oh, he's trying to set up for the chicken wing. You know, just like what he does at catering.
But it looks like he can't quite get it. Guess it's gonna be a long day of going hungry for Brad.
Maybe they should have labeled it extra crispy. Brad's got no luck tonight.
And now Boris Zhukov takes over with a shot to the midsection. Say what you want, but how does a guy like Boris have the face of a dwarf without actually being one?
Yeah, good question. I'm half expecting him to run down the long table at Greenway Press and dropkick Will Ferrell.
Oh, and that's why Brad opens the big shows, folks, because nothing screams everything's real, like a guy treating wrestling like it's an actual Olympic event.
Brad takes a tumble to the outside, and what is that? He lands on this weird white tarp they've got laid out on the field.
It's like they didn't even bother trying to hide it. That's not a wrestling mat. That's a clearance bin bed sheet from the local department store.
I guess the budget didn't stretch to actual mats this time. Nothing screams professional like tarp-covered concrete.
Well, folks, stay tuned. There's plenty more action to come, and hopefully fewer budget cuts along the way. A big clubbing shot to Brad on the apron, and listen to Ron Trongard. He's saying you could have heard that one across town.
Across town? You know what Ron actually heard was probably someone hunting ducks 4 towns over. But hey, who's keeping track?
Honestly, Ron's ability to tell the difference between a wrestling match and distant shotgun blasts is just a little off tonight. Maybe someone should remind him he's not calling a match at an outdoor shooting range.
And Brad's rallying now. He's got the crowd fired up, but what's with that young fan in the front row? Look at his face. It's like he's in pain from screaming so loud.
Yeah, he's screaming so loud it looks like he's trying to pass a kidney stone. Relax, kid. Brad's good, but he's not that good.
Someone get that kid a glass of water before he hurts himself.
Brad now going to work on the left leg of Boris Zhukov, giving him a taste of his own medicine. And now Brad pulls Zhukov's legs to the apron and smashes them across it. That's old school grit right there.
And there's the atomic drop. Brad covers, but only gets a 2 count. Boris back to his feet, hits the ropes, and completely no-sells the knees on the run.
Well, that's fine, because Brad catches him with the power slam. Here's the cover. 1, 2, 3. That's it, folks, in 8 minutes and 31 seconds. Brad Rheingans takes the win over Boris Zhukov in the opening contest here at WrestleRock 86.
And that's about where the most interesting part of the match ends. Let's face it, Boris Zhukov isn't exactly lighting the ring on fire. He's slow, he's bald, and he's Russian, which sums up about half the heels in America at this point.
Naturally, since this is an opening match, Brad makes his comeback, hits the fisherman suplex, and wraps it up pretty easily. The American winning over the evil Soviet. It's a surefire way to get the crowd going.
Oh, not a good match by any means, but for about 5 minutes and as an opener, what were you expecting? For a power guy, though, using a fisherman's suplex as a finisher is an interesting choice.
Here's the thing. I get that a lot of these TV shows were about building to big arena house shows, but why not blow off something big at an event like this?
Exactly. The AWA never seemed to bring about anything to a proper conclusion. When push came to shove, they just kicked the can down the road and tried to squeeze a few more ticket sales out of the same feud.
That's a recipe for disaster. Sure, the WWF can be like that too, but their hand gets forced. They have to change things when guys leave or get injured. The AWA just didn't